Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2024 Veterans Day program. I'm Interim Medical Center Director and U.S. Air Force veteran Chandra Miller. I regret that I couldn't be with you today, but I did want to extend a warm welcome to all of you and a sincere appreciation to all of our veterans who have served our great nation and to our active duty service members. Veterans Day is about remembering and recognizing the service, sacrifices, and selflessness of our nation's veterans. By fighting our nation's wars and defending us all during periods of peace between wars, veterans have protected our way of life and the freedoms we all enjoy. To speak without fear, to vote as we see fit, and to gather as we do here today. We can be here today because of the sacrifice of American heroes like each of you across the centuries. And the sacrifice continues daily, year after year. There's always someone out there protecting our nation and our interests, and we gather here today to honor their commitment. We owe them all a debt of gratitude for the burdens they have borne, because often in their minds, lives, and experiences, their wars will live on in their minds, bodies, in scars visible and invisible. So today, we recommit to honoring our Americans' veterans, like them, and renewing our obligation to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for those who have served in our nation's military and for their families, caregivers, and survivors. Veterans Day is not just a day, but also a call to action. It's a reminder that it is our sacred responsibility and obligation as Americans to serve those who have served our country. At VA, that means providing veterans with world-class health care, with the benefits that they have earned and so rightly deserve. And it means providing them with a lasting resting place that is a tribute to their service. Whenever someone signs up to serve our country in the military, our nation makes them a simple promise. If you take care of us, we'll take care of you. If you fight for us, we will fight for you. If you serve for us, we will serve you when you come home. And so today we recommit ourselves to upholding that promise and all the principles of democracy for which veterans have fought and bled to defend. That is our most sacred responsibility as Americans on this Veteran Day and every day. And that is our mission here at the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center, to do our part to honor our veterans' service and VA's mission to providing them the highest quality health care possible. And the commitment that we make to veterans and the relationship that we establish with them is lifelong, even after they have passed. When they are with us, we care for their bodies, minds, and spirits. When they are gone, they remain in our hearts always. Thank you for all joining us today to honor Americans' heroes. May God bless all of our veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, and may we continue to bless our great country.
Present arms. outstanding. Chief, thank you. Good catch. Our chief of police, who's our current assistant director, is retired Army, so he knew exactly what to do, did he? Folks, one of the cool things about this program today is we have so many young people involved. We have the West Lawrence High ROTC, and we've got East Lawrence High Band here, and they did a fantastic job. The thing about our nation is the very best of us is transmitted generationally. If we don't transmit it generationally, it won't happen. So we got to remember that. We got to get the young people involved so they know what to do next. When we're gone, they'll be here to carry on. All right, next we're going to have Miss Harriet Claxton, who's going to render our lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the American's Creed. And if you have a program, you'll see the creed on back of it. Miss Harriet? American's Creed first. States of America, as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend against all enemies. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Miss Harriet. And Miss Harriet is a stalwart for us. I don't know how many years she's been doing this. She'd have to tell me. But thank you so much. All right. Next, we're going to do our special recognition. Do we have any of our VIPs in the audience? Any of our local politicians? Anybody that's out there representing us in the government that we want to recognize? Any hands go up? Don't be shy. Don't be humble. Chief, do you see anybody? All right. That's okay. Thank y'all. Now, we're going to have an introduction of our guest speaker by someone who's been here a very long time. In fact, I've been here a long time, but he's been here. Oh, we got to do the invocation first? Gotcha. Thank you. Thanks for keeping me straight. All right, first we'll do our invocation by Chaplain Angelica Mitchell.
Thank you. Let us pray. God of love and God of mercy, creator of mankind and author of experience, your firm support, gentle love, and compassionate healing. Be their power and protector, leading them from darkness to light, to be all the glory, honor, and praise, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Okay. Thank you, Chaplain. Now we're going to go our acting assistant director, Rod McNeil, is also our full-time chief of police, so we're getting our money's worth out of him. He's going to introduce our guest speaker, our keynote speaker. So, Chief McNeil, you want to come on up? Everybody on the stage can be seated.
So it's a little bit of a change up. Didn't realize I was introducing our keynote speaker. I had a speech ready and everything.
No.
But that's okay. Oh, I am? I'm doing both of it?
Remarks and then.
Okay, all right. Well rehearsed, that's okay. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. When Frank started, I was going to have the veterans stand up if they could. So instead of having to stand up again, I do want to recognize all the veterans in the house. So if you would, if you can, stand up. If you can't, raise your hand. Let's get another round of applause for our nation's heroes. Today is all about you, veterans. What you've done for our nation as well, and how well you did it. So welcome, and welcome your families and your friends as well. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Our nation's veterans, men and women who've worn our country's uniforms, fought and served to make our freedoms and our way of life possible. And for that, we have an obligation to all of them. Presidents often speak of that obligation to our nation's one true sacred obligation is to prepare and equip our troops we send into harm's way, care for them and their families when they return home. The second part of that obligation, caring for the veterans and their families when they return home, is our primary mission here at the VA. It is our job, our responsibility to serve veterans, families, caregivers, survivors, as well as they have served us, as well as they have served our country. Yet today, Veterans Day, is something more. It's all a call to action for each of us through the vets throughout the year. It's a great opportunity for all of us to sincerely renew our commitment to those who have served. In countless ceremonies like this one across the country, America is honoring veterans, patriots who have served the wars of our independence and have stood watch over and defend our liberty. From Bunker Hill to Baghdad, to Kingsman's Mountain and Kandahar, we are the beneficiaries of their courage, their determination to uphold democracies or democratic beliefs on our nation's which our nation was founded. America has been blessed as our country and our history of the world. The sacrifices of our armed forces have given us security and freedom for which to grow and flourish as a nation in law, human rights, business, economics, in science, technology, education, and in the arts. They have established the United States to stand as a beacon of hope and freedom for others across the world, drawing millions to our shores as a model of democracy for the world. Many of you in attendance will have attended other Veterans Day ceremonies. But here we remember our American heroes today on November 11th, because the 11th hour of the 11th month in 1918, the guns of the Great War, the war to end all wars, fell silent. But as we know, this was sadly not the last fight. Nazism, fascism rose much of the world, extended, and 16 million American men and women stepped forward and fought tyranny in World War II. They overcome enemies, leading us into the victories. Unsuppressed world leadership and influence. They did so again in the frozen mountains of Korea, in the humid jungles and rice paddies of Vietnam, in the sands and deserts of Desert Storm, in the brutal mountains and the battles of Afghanistan, and the populated cities of Iraq. That is the story of an American veterans, ordinary men and women stepping forward to win and preserve our independence and to help others who experience the dark oppression of tyranny. Today we remember all of them. They donned their uniforms, they laid their lives on line for each of us to allow us to have the opportunity to enjoy the blessings of freedom. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, National Guardsmen, Coast Guardsmen, who stepped forward and answered the call of arms. Today is certainly a special day for those of us in the Department of Veteran Affairs. We dedicated to serve the needs of more than 18 million men and women living across today who have served our nation's armed forces. The VA can trace our lineage as a department to President Abraham Lincoln's devotion to veterans and a steadfast belief that service must be justly recognized and honored by a grateful nation. Almost 160 years after Abraham Lincoln described his national promise to the veterans in the second inaugural address, the President and the Secretary of Veteran Affairs are committed to fulfilling that promise is stronger than ever. In improving access to care, fulfillment and enhancement of the PACT Act, and more burial options for veterans when they reach the end of their lives, and ensuring that every man and woman who's fought in America has a home in America. At the Department of Veteran Affairs, we repay the nation, as a nation, its debts and who have served. We repay the nation and those who oppose the debt. At the VA, we strive to keep our covenant with the veterans each day. At the VA, we seek consistency to build trust with these veterans, because fulfillment of the covenant and to build trust helps achieve our vision, providing more care, more benefits, more veterans than ever. That is our goal. It is our goal and vision and future. Because success in those endeavors means less suffering for those who gave so much to America and to all of us, many of whom can't escape lifelong physical and invisible wounds of war and the service that they bear on behalf of all of us. We help mend the bodies, the spirits of veterans who fought our battles in the Costa, who served times of restless peace between wars. We assist families as they go through after the loss of loved ones. We see veterans at the end of life with dignity and honorable burials and the thanks of a grateful nation. At hundreds of VA hospitals, outpatient clinics, vet centers, telehealth sites, benefit offices, we work with compassion and respect, putting veterans first. A grateful nation expects nothing less. Thank you for attending this holiday ceremony. Your presence and remembrance of the words of grace, gratitude to our active duty troops and our veterans, support of all of them, reinforces the covenant between America and the men and women who protect and defend her. We do this because we recognize the basic truth. The deeds of America's veterans binds us in the noble past, strengthens us in a difficult present, and inspires us to meet future challenges as we may face in our nation. Thank you all. God bless our veterans, and God bless America. Now I'm about to read this by the fly, okay, so if I mess something up, blame Frank.
Yes. Before we go, we're going to do another. Go ahead, Jamie. 1 second.
Oh, change it to 1,000. Go ahead. Charmaine Turner, the founder of Excelling Wellness Coaching and Counseling, is a certified life health corporation wellness coach with a background in public health and psychiatry and an Air Force veteran. Thank you for your service. Charmaine specializes and guides veterans and professionals towards a life of resiliency, balance, and health. She draws on her own military experience to speak in a unique challenge veterans face, from adapting to civilian life and managing mental and physical health. A transition from my military to civilian life, as we all know, is definitely a challenge. Thank you for that. Her mission is to empower veterans of all ages, embracing wellness in every area of life, including physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Though her compassion and no-nonsense approach, Charmaine provides the tools and strength to veterans needed to take change in their health and thrive for years to come. So if everybody would help me welcome Ms. Charmaine Turner.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for that introduction. You did great on the fly. So today we have heard about the VA and different benefits and all of those different things that we hear all the time. I'm here to talk to the veterans. I'm here to speak to each one of you because I feel that we serve our time, we focus on the mission, and then when it's time to leave, we face so many challenges. We're not prepared. So I love the fact that we have a multi-generational audience here, some of the youngsters, all the way up to our seasoned veterans, as I'll call it. I want to speak to you because many times we feel like the mission is done when we leave, and it's not. So today I want to be your reminder that you still have a mission. You still have a mission. This weekend I saw a statistic about suicide rates amongst veterans, and it breaks my heart when I read those numbers. I've seen it range from 17 to 24 veterans a day. And I can only imagine the challenges that they are going through to come to that decision. You can't speak really about being a veteran if you've not been in the boots, if you've not worn the uniform. And so I'm honored that I was able to spend 11 years in my uniform. So I want to share a little bit about how I got to this place, and then I want to offer some encouragement to you all going forward, because it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 89, you still have a mission. You still have something to offer. The military has afforded you and taught you and given you training and skills and so much more that you can still share, and we need to hear that. So let me take you back to 2003. 2003, I sold insurance, and I was just paying bills, going to work and paying bills. Like, there had to be more to life than that. I come from a military family. My mother was in the Air Force. She served 23 years. My grandfather, aunts, uncles, family full of military. And so I got that bug around 2003. I joined the Air Force Reserves. I was the only reservist. Everyone else went active duty, but I wasn't quite ready to commit yet. So I joined the reserves as a traditional reservist. Once I put that uniform on and I saw how differently people treated me, I was hooked. I was like, wait a minute. They're all saying, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. I was just a regular person before then. When I put that uniform on, things changed for me. And so I figured out how I could do this full time. So I went from a traditional reservist to an Air Reserve technician, and then an AGR. The AGR was it for me. So I was able to wear my uniform every day. I didn't realize that I wasn't patriotic until basic training. It was a coining ceremony. I got that coin in my hand, and a tear rolled down my face, and I was like, what is happening to me? I felt patriotic. I felt like I belonged to something bigger than myself. And so many young people in particular don't feel that. So for you, youngsters, I'm gonna call you, you have done a great thing. Go all in. Go all in this. This is something that everyone can't do. Many people want to join and they cannot. So embrace every moment. Embrace every moment. So I got my coin. I found my AGR position. And then I started experiencing some weird symptoms just out of the clear blue. I was struggling with migraines. Migraines so bad that I would have to go to the emergency room. And first, it was just once a month, maybe, once every couple of months. And then it got to the point where I was at the emergency room several times a month. And it was debilitating. I couldn't look at my computer. I couldn't do my job. And so I kept trying to push through because that's what we're told to do, push through. And so that's what I did. I got an assignment to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Anybody been there? A couple of hands, okay. I took that assignment to Wright-Patterson, got up there, was excited about a fresh new start. The migraines came back full force. It was totally debilitating. My supervisor tried to help. I started experiencing some additional symptoms. I would have numbness and tingling in my hands, my left side. What is going on? Again, to the youngsters, go and be seen. Do not just push through. Do not ignore things. Go and be seen. All right, so I finally went to the emergency room one time. A doctor was like, I am seeing you too frequently. We need to do something. We need to figure out what's going on. So he referred me to a neurologist. I went to the neurologist. He was like, we're going to do an MRI. Okay. I had no clue what was going on. I wasn't worried about it. No one else seemed to be concerned. I had the MRI. Fast forward 2 months, ran the Air Force half marathon. Everything is still good. I'm passing my fit test, no problem. Still doing my job. Next month, over cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster, I get a phone call about 6 p.m. Now, it's strange when the doctor from the base calls at 6 p.m. I get the call. Sergeant Turner, I need to tell you something. I stepped out. I was celebrating my son's 16th birthday at his favorite Red Lobster, and so I step outside. I go outside. His name was Colonel Nagasawa. He said, I just got your scan back from your MRI. We found lesions on your brain and spine. What does that mean? What on earth are you telling me? I think you have multiple sclerosis. Okay, so I pick my face up off the floor. I go back in and finish my dinner with my kids because that's what you do, especially if you're a mom. I didn't want to mess up his birthday. We go in, we finish the dinner, and then it was just a downhill spiral from there. Anyone here been through a MEB, a medical evaluation board? Yeah, not the funnest thing. So I charge forward, go through the whole process, thinking they're going to keep me. I've been a stellar airman, did all I was supposed to do. No. We're going to force you to retire. I was not prepared. Not by any stretch of your imagination. I was trying to get that Master Sergeant stripe that was sitting on my boss's desk. Well, that's not how it went. They said I had to retire. And so that started a whole chain of events that I had never dealt with before. I talked about the suicide numbers. We know, research shows, plenty of statistics, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation are all huge. We know that abusive substances are a big deal as well. I went through all of that. I went through depression for 6 months. I drank too much. I coped in a negative way until it got to the point where I said, I have to get better. I have a family. I have a mission. I didn't feel like I had a mission before, but I realized I still have a mission. It might not be in my uniform. I might not be able to, be side by side with my battle buddies and everything, but I still have a mission. So I went to counseling. I got the support that I needed, and I retired. And little did I know, all of that time in the military was preparing me to do what I do now. And so when I tell you all that you still have a mission, no matter how old, how young, what your disability or ability, your challenges, no matter what you're going through, you still have a mission. I was able to tap into everything that I learned while I served. All of my training. I used to be horrified of public speaking. You see where I'm at right now. All of the training that I got while I served, the education they paid for degrees. I volunteered, I made connections. I didn't realize it was preparing me for the next mission that I would have in my life. And so when I tell you all that you still have a mission, you have skills. You have years of experience. You have so much knowledge. There's too many veterans that feel like there's nothing. I retired, there's nothing. You still have so much inside of you. You still have so much to share. You have stories to tell a young airman. You have mentorship possibilities available. There's so much there. You can start a business. There's so much that you can do. So today, I just want you to remember, I still have a mission. You might not be able to run, but you can walk. You might not be able to talk, but you can write. You might be missing a limb, but you are still fully capable. That's what I want you to take away from today. Don't let a day. Remember that if you get up, you still have a mission. If you're still here, you still have a mission. It doesn't matter if you can't do what you used to. Take the skills that you had and take them into the future. You still have a mission. I like to say we're all human resources. Regardless of what your career field is, you're all human resources because as someone who serves, you're serving people. That's what we're doing when we put that uniform on. You're serving your country. You're serving your neighbor, your family. You are a human resource. So we are all part of the human resources field. Don't ever minimize what you are able to give and how you are able to serve because you are fully capable. So 4 things I want you to remember. Your mindset. So important to work on your mindset. I talked about counseling. We have to be right. We have to get the support that we need. Without the counseling, without the support, without nourishing your mindset, that's where the negativity comes in. That's where the depression comes in, and those things are strong. And I don't want those suicide numbers to keep increasing. So I'm going to say keep working on your mindset. Get the support that you need. Motivation. If you're lacking motivation, find what motivates you. I never thought health and wellness would motivate me. I did not like to run. I did not like push-ups. I was prissy, like all day. But here I am, and that's what I do. I help people to be their healthiest selves. Mind, body, soul, all of it, finances. So find that thing that motivates you. Don't say, I'm 80 years old and I'm just gonna, no. Find that thing that motivates you. Are you motivated by your grandkids? Are you motivated by your church? Find that motivation and dive in, which is number 3, move. Move on it. Don't just think it. Don't sit on it. Move on it. Take action. Take action. What is that next step? The VA offers so many resources. Small business, so many education, training. There's so many resources available to you. You served your time. You wore that uniform. You were separated from your family. You cried tears. You hurt. Take advantage of everything that you've earned. You've earned these benefits, so use them. And last but not least, meaning. You have meaning. My son has a shirt and it says you matter. That's another way of saying you have meaning. Please don't think that just because you're done with your time that you don't have meaning. Take what you've learned, take the time, the training, the connections, and move forward because you still have a mission. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you inviting me to come, and I love to offer support to all our veterans. Thank you for your sacrifices. Without your sacrifices, I could not be here. So thank you so much.
Jamie, thank you, and these sworns have been. Folks, before we close out today, I want to say a big thank you to Keith Griffin, our chief for the Center of Development and Civic Engagement, his crew for everything they did getting this together, and my folks, Mr. Greg Swartz, Miss Allison Burnett, everybody up here on the stage, and most of all, I want to thank all of you for coming out and supporting us here and showing your respect for our veterans. But I'm going to give you a little homework. If you don't know, my doctorate is in education, so I'm a teacher by nature. So I'm going to give you some homework. You have a year to do it. Don't worry about it. You got a whole year. I need you to come back next year, and I need you to bring 3 to 5 people with you. And you know where I'm shooting for, the 5, right? Bring people back. If we're going to honor our veterans, remember, when you go out and you attend a child's game or play, or you go to a local restaurant or enjoy a movie, anything you do in this country, you're doing that. You're able to do that because there are people out there on those walls, in the air, on the sea, constantly. They never let up. They're out there defending our interests. They keep the forces of evil and tyranny at bay. And we wouldn't have what we have without them. And that's been 250 plus years, folks. So the best way we can honor them and thank them for what they do is what we do here every year. So please come back next year and bring folks with you. And that is it for our ceremony. Thank you for coming out, and we will see you next year.